Do you own an investment property? Washington Brown has helped over 250,000 property investors pay less tax with a depreciation schedule. Visit washingtonbrown.com.au to pay less tax today.
Question number 6. You've just turned 50. You've got no money. How would you invest? And your parents died and passed away and left you $500,000. How would you advise someone to invest that $500,000? And just so you know, there's a financial disclaimer at the beginning of this. So,
can I ask, is this person in employment and single? Are we making those assumptions?
In employment, they're employed, but they haven't saved any money. There's a lot of those. I've got a lot of friends like that.
Okay, if they're even in modest income, I would suggest that I know people would say go and speak to a financial planner, but if you could, I'd speak to a mortgage broker and say, this is my income, this is what if they've got nothing, maybe they own a car outright, if they're assuming they've got no other debts, and find out what that maximum borrowing capacity is. And because I'm assuming then they'll be paying rent. And what is it they can actually, I would get security. At that age, I'd want security and I'd want to buy my own property. So if you're living in Sydney, you might be, if you're renting a house, you may have to move into an apartment that you actually therefore own. And also if you can borrow just a little bit more and then focus on paying down that asset so that, your goal will be by the time you retire, you almost own this outright. And
and then it won't affect your pension if your house won't affect your pension. It's your principal place of residence, right?
Yeah. It's just security. I mean, this is the beauty. I guess going back to my childhood, Ty, it's just that I felt there was lacking security, and what property has given me is that I know something happened to one of us medically. If I desperately needed money, I've got options. I can sell something down. I can get myself out of trouble or get a child. I know I've got that behind me, and I think it'd be scary hitting your 50s and knowing you've got nothing. And that's what happens. A lot of people exit marriages where they sell the family home. They find themselves with half the capacity that they could then go back into the market and buy again. And I have a lot of women that are coming at me with those sorts of, what do I do? Like, I don't want to leave the area I'm living in, but I can only have X amount of dollars to invest in now. So this is an investment decision as opposed to a principal place of residence decision. And I help strategize with them what that will look like in conjunction with what advice they get from their accountant or financial planner.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jo? If you inherited $500,000 today, what would you do with it?
I'd be very tempted. You know what I would probably do? I'd put it in my offset account immediately.
Right.
I would do that. Yeah, I would do that. And once I finish the Taj Mahal that I'm building, I've got a bit of landscaping and things like that to do. So I think right now, put on the spot, answering that question, I would think, I get to do all of the things I want to do. Like if that whole party version of Jo kicks in, where you're like, and I'm going to do lighting in the garden, it's going to be amazing, and I'll go finish the pool off, and I'll do a gazebo. But wow. I do come at, it's one of those things with property. It's making sure the business brain overrides the emotional brain. So I would park the money for now. Let me just let the dust settle. And then come back, and yes, I probably would use it to build another, just start progressing my portfolio. Because what I have done previously also, and is that I'm self-employed. We run a company, and I've got a large portfolio, and I've got 3 dependents. So the standard banks don't always look at me and go, yeah, we'll give them more money. That's just the reality of lending. So I have actually done capital raises before to do property developments. I'm not against doing that again or going to a private lender. So I think in conjunction with those other options that I've explored before, I would probably jump into that splitter block that I'm waiting to do a build 3 on, because I know what those returns are going to look like. It's going to be good. So I've just got to navigate that journey, getting to the finish day where I'm not paying construction loans down. I'm actually getting the rent back in. So that's probably where Jo would end up.